Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a distinctly average superhero movie. This is our Supergirl spoiler review. Welcome one and all to the With Mates podcast! What's happening, troops, and welcome back to the With Mates podcast. My name is Andrew Grayson, your host as ever. And normally, I'm quite cheery when we talk about comic book movies. Normally, I am a jovial, happy man when I get to talk about comic book movies. Mainly, that's with Marvel. Today we're talking about DC, and I've been quite high on DC recently. I don't think that's going to be the case this time, because we are here to talk about the DCU next movie, which is Supergirl. And joining me to talk all things Supergirl, he is the triple barrel man. He is Craig Andrew Mooney.
I'm not liking the way this episode started. I'm not liking the tone here.
You already know how I feel. We went live on TikTok. You know my feelings.
This is not you. You're sounding way harsher than you were on TikTok in front of all the folk.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm sounding harsher, because the more I think about it, the more I feel as if I was being very kind. And he is the cheery one. He is the smacky one. He is Polly Smack Post in it.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy because I've got so much to dish out today. Which way is it gonna go? Which way is Paul gonna go? Who knows?
Who knows? Well, as I say, we are here to talk about Supergirl, but before we get into that, we're going to get our housekeeping out of the way. If you have not already hit the subscribe button, make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit the big red button, subscribe to us, and you will see all the good stuff that will be coming to you this July, because we are very, very busy with not only House of the Dragon, but there's some pretty big movies coming out. We've got arguably two of the biggest movies of the year coming out this July. We have Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and we also have Spider-Man at the end of the month as well. So we will be watching and reviewing both of those films. I think there's another couple of good films in July as well. There's one that I want to go see. It's called The Invite. Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I saw that. That's interesting.
Is it Sam Rockwell? No. Is it Ed Norton? Ed Norton, Penelope Cruz.
Ed Norton. Yeah.
Looks a good film. I'm going to go see that.
We've also got hand in hand to the IMAX to see The Odyssey, and we'll all be very happy about that, won't we?
I'm actually looking forward to it.
I
have been.
It's my pick in the movie draft, so I'm just like that. There's no other film I would rather go see in IMAX.
I've got a feeling I'm going to hate it. I've got a feeling I'm going to hate it.
I think it could go either way. Genuinely. In the last kind of couple of weeks, I've grown more excited for it. I'm still bitter that it's making me not be able to see Spider-Man in IMAX.
That's what I was scared at.
Yeah. I'm bitter about that. I mean, I want to see The Odyssey in IMAX, but you don't need to monopolize it. Let me have a couple of days of Spider-Man.
It's 2 weeks. It's out 2 weeks, mate, before it.
So I've said this again. We'll get into Supergirl. Like, trust me, you're not missing much. But the whole thing with The Odyssey is, I'm going. I can't see it I can't see it. Like, so again, for me, I go see my movies at Silverburn. I go see my movies at Cineworld in Silverburn. And I can honestly count probably in one hand how many times I've seen the IMAX sold out, which I think The Odyssey will be opening week and opening weekend. But after that, is it really going to, like, is there a need for it to be? Like, obviously I understand that Nolan shoots on IMAX and stuff like that. To me, it's silly. I think you give them 2 weeks, and then when Spider-Man comes out, you give Spider-Man a week. It's for me, I think footfall-wise, I think cinemas would make more repeat viewings, because I can tell you this now, I already know I'm seeing Spider-Man minimum 3 times. Because I'm seeing it with yous, I'm seeing it with the missus, and I'm seeing it with my dad. So, like, I know I'm going to see it. Whereas The Odyssey, I don't know if I'm going to go see it. I seen Oppenheimer, but I seen it once and that was it. Spider-Man, I'm going to see multiple times, because fuck yeah, cannot wait, man. But enough about what's to come. Just make sure you are with us on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. That's where all our non-spoiler stuff is. We'll be doing lots of mini reviews. We are now doing TikTok lives. When we go see a film and we're together, we will do a TikTok live where we'll get to kind of, if you fancy asking us any questions about the films, not in a non-spoiler way, we can speak directly to you.
Mm-hmm.
But enough rigmarole. Let's get into it. So, Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock, Jason Momoa, and Matthias.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to murder this name. Matthias Schoenaerts, directed by Craig Gillespie. What's confusing you, Paul?
Was Jason Momoa in this film?
Very good. Anyway, This is an important film for the podcast because
Small
we
cameo.
do. I know, small cameo. We do a thing here called the Fantasy Movie Draft where we pick movies based on how we think they'll be rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Craig picked this film. It is currently sitting at a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, which means he has lost 16 points from a movie he has picked.
Delicious.
Craig,
points to
you and I will go first. We already know how we
Mm-hmm.
each other thinks and stuff like that. My quick thoughts: it's a fine film. I think it's fine. I don't think there's any other word for it. I gave it a 6 when we came out of the cinema, which on our rating scale is good. It was a soft 6. It wasn't yes, this is definitely a 6 out of 10. This was me kind of going, yeah, there was some good in it. I feel as if my mind might be changed for like a lower score by the end of this. But yeah, Millie Alcock's good. The cameo from David Cornsweet's really good. We've seen him in the trailer, so that's not anything spoiler-wise. Jason Momoa's Jason Momoa, but it's a very paint-by-numbers superhero film. We've seen this several occasions. To me, it's very disappointing in terms of how much I enjoyed Superman. To see where we kind of go to next with Supergirl. Look, there's nothing particularly bad about the film, but there's not a lot of good either, which is a shame. Remind me, Craig, what are your thoughts on it?
I think for me it's more a solid 6. So I think I was a bit more kind to the film than Andrew was. I very much thought it was a good film, but as he said, it is very paint by numbers. It is very archetypal of a superhero film. There's nothing original, nothing groundbreaking. On reflection, for me, I was thinking about this comic book run, the Grant Morrison comic book run of Supergirl, which I thought this film was going to be based on. Now, to an extent, the actual character themselves... Well, it's not, though.
It is. That's the sad thing.
No, I know. But what I'm meaning is the character, the characterization of Supergirl is based on his version of it, but the actual going to those kind of lengths with what he did with the character didn't happen in this film. And again, the actual plot, the script didn't go where he went, in my opinion. But the actual idea of Supergirl being kind of like a drunk and a layabout and not understanding how to be a hero yet and not wanting to be a hero, that's all his idea. But I think they could have lent more into that and kind of taken a bit more risks with the film, gone for a bit more of a risky plot, a bit more of a swing, kind of like what Guardians was back in the day. Like that was a swing, that kind of film. So that's kind of what I was wanting more from this film, and that's why I didn't get a higher score for me. But still, I still think it's a good film. I still enjoyed it. It's just nothing original.
I think I thought you'd maybe come the same way as me. I think we were going to go like that when we start talking about spoilers and stuff. Neither of us really know. Paul was supposed to come with us when we were all going to go see it together, but Paul was obviously otherwise engaged with something else. Something came up for Paul, so we didn't see it with Paul. So this is new to us. We already have a feeling we know what Paul's thoughts are going to be. But Paul, what did you think of Supergirl?
So I just saw this afternoon. I wasn't expecting much going in, and man, let me tell you, when I went into that film, my expectations were met exactly how I thought they were going to. This film is not just paint by numbers, it's a bit of a mess, full of plot holes, characters I'm not really thrilled about, odd choices for, I would say, an extended cameo for someone who kind of looked like he was going to be the villain and definitely isn't. And
mate, you can say you say his name. It's not a spoiler. He's in the trailers.
Lobo was definitely for me anyway. In the trailer, seemed like was going to be the villain or a villain, and definitely was nothing. This film could have been exactly the same without Jason Momoa. Like he could have just not been there. And yeah, paint by numbers. And at this point, with James Gunn heading DC and they're basically on their last legs. Like, this needs to work. Superman for me.
I don't think. Whoa.
No.
DC's not on its last legs. Let's not talk silly.
Superman was a hit.
It's not
Superman
even
was
about
a massive hit.
Superman
it's not
was
even about Superman.
all right.
No, that's what you said, Paul.
No.
That's
Superman
what you said.
did really well financially. It did really well critically.
It also was a good film.
Superman, yeah, it was. It was a good
great
film.
film, actually.
All right.
It was not,
Paul.
That's nonsense.
Now, I
That's
know we're
nonsense.
on the same side with this film, kind of, but let's not be silly now. DC's not on its last legs. Like, realistically, it's not. The stuff... I now think there's a lot more pressure on Lanterns.
What
in August.
What is this we're building to in DC? Because it feels... I know it's the second movie and the new...
Yeah, I was
world,
going to say, I think it's a bit early to be going, what are we building towards?
but this is just...
Paul, that's
It's-
nonsense what he's just said, though. Can I fact check him, please?
It's
Go on.
all over the place.
Right. It's definitely not. So James Gunn has laid out his plan from the get-go. You can find it online, his plan about the different chapters he's going to go through. Also, the fact we got Supergirl second, I agree it maybe wasn't the best choice to go for it as the second film, but she is going to be playing a massive part in Man of Tomorrow, which is a Superman sequel, so it made sense to give her more of a intro now, so that then she gets to have her moment with him in the next film. There's a clear plan in place. I totally disagree with what Paul just said there. Like, there's not a chance there's no plan. James Gunn is not going into this with no plan.
You might
That's nonsense.
might disagree with me, but you don't have to get all Darth Vader on me, all right?
He's talking about your mic. It's went all
Is it
gargly
happy
again,
again?
but we'll persevere. Look, I think there's a middle ground between both what you're both saying. I truly think that there is a plan. I'm worried that it's not the smartest of plans. You know? So when it comes to, I said this on the TikTok when we were talking live, you have your A players, you have Superman and you have Batman. We still don't even know who's playing Batman. There's obviously the confusion with Robert Pattinson's Batman, who's most definitely not going to be the Batman in this universe.
Which is a smart choice.
I agree. I think you keep that as an Elseworld thing and just continue doing whatever you're doing over there and let Matt Reeves cook, because Matt Reeves is fantastic. But for me, I don't think I don't want to be hindsight, because when I seen Superman and we got the little cameo at the end with Supergirl, I was actually really excited. I was like, oh cool, she looks really cool. I'm interested in seeing a Supergirl film if that's what's going to be next. Ultimately, this film just didn't live up to it. And I know what Craig is saying in terms of this is based on the book, but it's not really based on the book. It's got all the same characters in the book. All the characters that were in it, like the villain was supposed to be in it. The little girl, Ruthie, was in it. Like, I just think the adaptation was really not done very well, which is a shame, because it's, again, as I say, it's filled with some good actors. The thing for me is it felt like someone was trying to do a James Gunn movie who isn't James Gunn, and I think it fell flat.
My problem isn't the fact that it's a Supergirl film at all. I was up for that.
Yeah.
I know you have to make her different to Superman because they can't both be the Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we need at this point, DC needs like home runs to kind of get themselves back on their feet. Like, I know Superman did better than projected, but it's
I think we're 50.
They're not in a great state, right? So,
but you're saying you're saying they're not in a great state. The DCU, right? This new DCU, I think it launched with an A. I think Superman. And this is the other thing as well. When we get into spoilers, we can talk about a wee bit about David Cornsweet as well. But I think we're off with a hit with him. I think he's a fantastic Superman, and I think anything other of the opinion that Superman was a success is the smell he takes. Now, Paul,
I
you've not
think
got a song. I will make one up for you if you continue with this smelly take.
He is
I-
a good
I-
Superman. I'll give you that.
I do no, but the thing is, Paul, I do agree with what you're saying. I feel as if this is a miss. So if we're looking at just the films, we're 1 for 1, or sorry, we're 1 out of 2, which isn't great to start it off and stuff. And again, it's still because I'm not actually sure. Or no, we do know Clayface is the next one, which fills me with dread.
Yes,
Like you've got
agree.
three movies coming out from DC: Superman, Supergirl, and Clayface. Where's Batman? Where's Green Lantern? I know we're getting the series, but why has he not got a film?
I don't know. Just
Even Wonder Woman. Why have we not got a Wonder Woman film?
Wonder Woman would be a bigger film potentially. I know the second one. The first one actually did phenomenally well. The second one, not so much.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. Like, see, for me, like, to do a really good film, you need a really good villain to make some of these films
100%. 100%.
memorable. And I remember like Sam Raimi Spider-Man, like back in the day. I know this is going back a number of years ago, but you had Goblin, you had Doc Ock, and then Venom and all that. You know, it was memorable. It was memorable. And with this, I genuinely thought Lobo going into this was the villain. I've not read the comics. No. And it's not
I don't think Lobo's in the comics.
All right.
I think every other character is. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
Even more so than, like, I just was confused. So I thought Lobo going into this was going to be the proper main villain. I thought the guy with the studs all over his face was going to be like
Going to be a side character.
Was going to be working for Lobo, and it's not that he was doing a bad job or anything. He was fine, but Jason Momoa as Lobo was actually quite entertaining in this. And he's in it for 5 minutes, and is part of what I would argue is one of the biggest plot holes in this film. So it's just, for me, just all of this was a bit of a mess. I thought Superman was a bit all over the place.
Oh no! Right. Okay.
Better,
I'm at a point now where I'm ready.
Wrong.
To argue. Right. So now is your spoiler warning. If you have not yet seen Supergirl, make your way to the cinema. Pause this podcast. Make your way to the cinema, and then come on back for this. It's not going to be heated debate. I felt as if this was going to be a fairly harmonious review, but it does seem as if we're going to have some contentious points. Is that correct? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Thicky dum dum, but I've got it should. So yeah, pause the podcast, head to the cinema, watch Supergirl, come back and watch or listen to what we have to say. But we are now in the spoiler territory, so let's get into the spoiler details. So, right, I feel as if I'm going to play devil's advocate at this point because I see some valid points that Paul's making, but I think he's going a bit too far. I see points that you're making, Craig, but I feel as if you're not going far enough. I do believe this is kind of messy. I don't think it's a mess. Now, the one thing I think me and Craig are going to agree on is I thought David Cornsweet was fantastic. I think he's a perfect Superman. I was very happy with the small parts that we got of him, and I've left... This is where I don't think it was good, though, and it's a similar point that I'm going to say to Lobo. I shouldn't be leaving a Supergirl movie being more excited about the small parts that Superman was in and looking forward to seeing him again. I should be coming out of this going, cool, I've got a new superhero that I like.
Hang on. The bits that we really liked of... Don't get me wrong, again, I've said I get David Cornsweet, great Superman. I thought he was probably the better thing about that movie, but...
Yeah.
But his great part in Supergirl is him on the phone and in that bit at the end?
No, the bit where he met her as well.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, okay, all right.
I don't think he had a great part in this. I'm just saying, when I see him as Superman, he's a fantastic Superman, and I love the tone and the pure, gee shucks, I like that kind of...
I got the G shucksness of it.
Yeah.
when I'll give you that. The best bit of him in this film was probably when he meets her out of the pod.
Yeah. I like that.
That was probably the best part, yeah.
And again, I'm not giving it big marks for this. I'm just saying, when I see David Cornsweet as Superman, I'm like, yeah, you're great. You are nailing that part, and I can't wait to see you. I can't wait for Man of Tomorrow next year. But shouldn't be coming out of Supergirl for that. Craig, let's hear your thoughts. Go on. Where do you feel as if this isn't a mess?
Millie Alcock, she does a great job with the performance. I think she's a very, very good choice for the part, and I think she does a good performance. And I think this will. And while the film maybe wasn't the finest ever in terms of script and stuff, she was a shining moment in it for me, and I think that she'll take this character forward well going into, for example, Man of Tomorrow, any kind of Justice League thing they do. I think she'll be a good addition. I think after what we saw, her and David Cornsweet bounce off each other really well, and I think they'll be a very good duo, especially in the next film, 100%.
I agree performance-wise. I think Millie Alcock is a fantastic actor. I don't think the script helped her at all. I think when your main character is written out for the best part of 20 minutes.
And which was something that happened in Superman, shall I point out?
Yeah.
We had another scene in this film where it was like, no, this is the prison cell scene. That's going to last 20 minutes.
But the difference
Superman
is
was more egregious for that.
But the Superman, the Supercell one made more sense in terms of for the plot of what Luthor was doing, and it also gave you like there was, and I can't believe I'm going to agree with Paul with the whole dog thing. The way to get to me is go after the dog. I didn't really care. They didn't give me that feeling of like I cared at the minute he got shot, but there was no real peril. There was no real like worry. Like even if you look at it, if you compare it to Guardians 3, when Rocket was like there, I felt something more. There didn't seem to be any of that kind of emotional care or feeling in it and stuff like that. And then, as I say, like the Superman stuff, you get the Rock guy and his daughter, and like there's other people that are there that Superman eventually kind of comes out and gets saved and whatever. But I don't know. I just thought there's a solid bit. There's other characters as well in that Superman. You've got Mr. Terrific, and you've got the land. What is it? The Justice Friends or whatever they were called. I can't remember.
Justice Gang.
Sorry.
Was it Justice Gang?
Justice Gang. Yeah, the Justice Gang. You had characters that were also interesting. In this, other than the little cameos from Superman, you only really had Supergirl. I didn't really care about Ruthie. The villain was so
didn't enjoy the villain.
Awful.
Villain of the week. Yeah.
But again, I don't feel as if that's the actor's fault. I feel as if that's the writer kind of just didn't give him much.
Like I'll point out, like I thought what he was doing was fine, but nobody knows who nobody knows what this character is. Nobody knows, like he's just kind of like generic marauder
that was the big problem for me as well.
Guy.
Like number one, right? Okay, this is the two issues with the villain. Number one, the villain's motivation starts with a different character. So the impetus for going after the villain starts with a different character than Supergirl. For her first film, that's an issue. Even the fact that he then shoots Krypto later, it still starts with Ruthie's character, right? So is that the right? Is that the name for the boy girl?
Yeah, Ruthie.
Yeah. So that's an issue. Number two, you've got to pick a better known name.
Exactly.
For like a villain character for a first film, you've got to choose. Even if it doesn't have to be like a deep cut. Sorry, even it can be a deep cut, but it has to be somebody.
Which
like someone that a name that we recognize.
But again, I think this is the thing though, is they've adapted from the novel, and the novel this is who the character is. That's who the villain is in this graphic novel.
Is it actually?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So see when you were saying like how they kind of have adapted, like, or they used it like as a skeleton. Most of what is in this is in the graphic novel, but they don't.
I stand correct.
They don't. I don't know if it's adapted well, or they don't take the good things and the bad things. Look, I
already didn't read the novel before he wrote it.
Say again.
I thought he didn't read the actual graphic novel before he wrote it. Is what I heard.
Who wrote it? Was it the same director?
I think it was Craig Gillespie that wrote both. He wrote both.
I need to have a look. Craig Gillespie didn't write it. Anna Noguera, Jerry Siegel, and Joe Shuster. I think he wasn't even involved in James Gunn. I think the only thing James Gunn was involved was he picked one of the songs.
He's obviously producer, right?
As I see it, right, kind of pointing to what
Yeah.
Craig was talking about with the sort of first opening scene. You have 3 tiers of this kind of scene, where the villain enters some poor victim's home to sort of begin a movie. You have the very, very tippity top, the A tier. You have Inglorious Bastards, right? That whole scene
Yeah.
with he's looking, for the family.
We know.
And then you
Sons of
come down.
Flowers, yeah.
Then you come down to Rogue One, which is a good scene, and you have Krennic coming looking for Jyn Erso. And then below that, with the bad, because this was bad, where you have this generic marauder guy coming in for, and the guy, because my second title for this movie is Exposition the Movie, and like the guy goes out and he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm the famed sword maker, and all those weapons I've hidden in the shed, he'll be after those. Yeah. And then he comes in and he's like, you know what I'm here for the swords. And then he's like, here's the key,
Take the swords.
and then there's the kid on his little, like, his AirPods, he's like
PSP.
da, 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 and then just dead. And then
thing-
I'm like, I don't care about these people. I mean, at least with
Yeah.
those other 2 films, they make you care about the people that are being hunted or gonna die or get kidnapped. Like, this was just like, what is this?
The thing I'll always kind of point out as well is, like, see when you see one of these people where it's like, look, I've come from the swords. Okay, just take the swords and leave us alone. Nah, I'm going to kill everybody apart from her. Like, I'll keep her. She can live. I've seen her, and realistically,
Yeah,
I
that
should
was a
probably put an axe through her back. But she can live. Look, I want to start. We can go into the things that didn't work for us and stuff. But I want to start with some positive. I think when Millie Alcock is Supergirl, I think she's great. I think she's wonderful. She looks great in the costume. She looks great with the whole. We kind of got like a Superman where she's like, you see her floating with a cape. Looks brilliant. She suits this character, I think. Kind of it. That's kind of it. Like, literally, there was points I noticed as well, and it's like it's bad when it's me. Like, there's points when me and Craig were watching this, and Craig laughed at a couple of things and I didn't, and I was just like, I've not laughed yet at this. And
I did clock that as well from you. I was thinking,
Yeah.
oh, Andrew's not laughed. And
Yeah,
Andrew
I've
likes to
not
laugh
laughed.
at these things.
I laughed at one part, and I'll
yeah.
tell you the exact part I laughed at, and since then I've found out that it wasn't what I thought it was so out of place. Was at the very end of the movie when Lobo leaves, he's like, "See you later, tits," and I was just like, "What the? Where does that come from? What do you mean?" However, I have later found out that in an earlier part in the movie, he calls her Ditz, like as in like because she was playing this really like ditzy American girl that was visiting another planet. So I think he actually says "See you later, Ditz."
Yeah. Like,
But at
you
at
thought
that
it was
one
tits?
point, I thought she was like tits. I was like,
What was
where
it?
the fuck is that come from? Like, that can't be a line in this movie. There's been nothing else that has showed that he's this misogynist that would just like be like, catchy tits. I was just like, what? And I laughed at that part. I laughed at nothing else.
What was it? Was it Peacemaker? Is that why it reminded you? Like, titties.
Yeah,
Was this-
but this is the thing. No, but this is the thing. Is I'm going. If Peacemaker says that, we have established that that's the world we're in. This world was not established, and that's what I thought he said. And at that point, I was like, "That's hilarious. Why is that just became a thing? Like that can't be true." And then it turns out it wasn't true. So technically, I didn't laugh once at this film. I don't know. I just think I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad film. I think some of the action sequences are really good. I think the kind of there are moments like the bus moment where you see her kind of like fighting outside and using her super speed and all that kind of stuff. The concepts are there for the character. I just think I don't know. It just didn't make me feel anything, and it's a shame because I really wanted to enjoy it.
Fair.
Yeah, no, like I didn't really have an issue with Supergirl herself in this. To be honest, I think it was laying it on thick at parts of like, oh, I'm the drunk. No, don't. You don't. I don't want to mess with nothing. I just want my drink. But it was kind of filled with James Gunn isms. They were definitely like, this is the direction we want to go for. This is another
Yeah.
oddball kind of movie, and I would say that worked better because that was one of my issues with Superman. Is I was like, this is a little oddball, but
No, I loved Superman. Like
Oh.
comparable to this, I loved Superman, and I liked. But this is the thing: is like the thing that interests me about the DCU overall, and I'll put it to both of you guys, in terms of where we go going forward and stuff. We will get back into more specifics about Supergirl, but in terms of going forward, like the concept of we've got Superman and it's really goofy and silly, and he's very kind of Boy Scout and stuff like that, and then we're going to Supergirl that's not going to be James Gunn, but it feels kind of James. Next is Clayface. It's a horror film. I'm now worried about the continuity within the universe and how that's going to work. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying because of this movie, I'm now going into Clayface going, I'm so apprehensive of that film now.
do you reckon?
Right.
Do you reckon that at the end of Clayface they'll introduce who the next Batman's going to be?
I hope Lobo's in it and just says, "See you later, tits." That doesn't become a catchphrase for the DCU. I don't want any part of it now. Big, what were you going to say, mate?
So, I understand what Andrew's saying, but this is what James Gunn has said about the DCU, and actually, I quite like this concept because it is different from Marvel. And what James Gunn has said, right, is that every single show, film, should be treated as its own graphic novel. That is the vibe. So you have different writers, different artists doing different graphic novels, and people have different takes on different characters. So, for example, you have the Grant Morrison Supergirl, which is was a totally fresh take. You've got a darker Batman. You know, I like the concept of that. It's all a shared universe, but you can put your own artistic spin on the concept, and I think that's better because we don't want another Marvel situation because we already have Marvel.
Yes, we
What's the
fucking
point?
do. Are you joking? Of course we do.
No, because Marvel's done it. So what's the point in doing it again? That's why the DC
Do it properly with DC.
But DC isn't like Marvel. This is the point. DC's never been like Marvel. I was a DC kid, right? So I was into DC back in the day. DC and Marvel are not. This is why they're two very distinct, separate things. Marvel is very much more a very similar tone, real world setting with superheroes in the real world, whereas DC's always had like various writers, artists, very different tones, very different brush strokes on different titles. It's an amalgamation of that, which I think that's why it could work the way they're doing it. But I really do.
Here's where my issue comes in, right? So again, correct me if I'm wrong. I've never really been an avid comic book reader. I've read some graphic novels and stuff like that. The thing for me, right, is what you're saying is true about Marvel. There are darker Marvel comics as well. There's darker Spider-Man comics. There's darker things like that. But to me, if you're going to go, right, everything's going to have its own tone, everything's going to... I think Marvel has done that. If you look at different movies, it's like Winter Soldier's a spy thriller, Ant-Man's your heist movie. No. The thing for me is, what you're saying, Craig, is going, each movie is going to have its own kind of tone. But if it's all one shared universe, there has to be some point where it crosses over. And from what I've seen, I'm now worried that that's not... I think that's going to jar. Because I don't know, the world that they built with Superman didn't feel the same as the world that they gave us and the care that they gave us with Supergirl. And I'm not saying that I think Clayface is going to be a bad film, but for that to be the next DC film, and it's not a Batman, and it's not a Green Lantern or Wonder Woman, and I'm like, you might be at a point where it's dead before it's even started.
When is Clayface coming out?
October, I believe. I could be wrong. Let me double check.
This year?
Yeah.
Also, it is, we could have had it in the movie draft. Yeah, I nearly picked it, of course. Yeah. No, I mean, look, Andrew, I get what you're saying because we don't know either. This is uncharted territory, whether this is going to work, because no one's tried this before.
October 23rd, Clayface comes out.
But I think obviously in the comics it works the way they do things in the comics.
But that was the question I was going to ask you though. Is like, see, when you were saying that they have different writers and different tones for comics, do they cross though?
Yeah. You can.
So for instance, I know the one that's going on just now is Batman. Oh, what's the word that they use? He's like it's like pure gothic and stuff like that. It's absolute
Absolute.
Batman.
Yeah.
So they've had absolute Superman. They've had absolute. They're doing absolute, but it's absolute superhero villain, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they all share that tone. It might be different writers, but it's like this is the look and this is the tone that we're going for.
Yeah.
I know there's different people that take on different stories, but to me, I'm going, right, but there has to be some sort of connectivity. There has to be some sort of continuity that gets us from A to B. Because I'm assuming that they're going to give us Justice League eventually.
I mean,
Yes,
that would be the plan.
Towards that. Yeah,
you kind of had that with Marvel as well. You had Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, the Ultimate Universe. You know,
yeah, but again, that the tone didn't dramatically shift as it does with DC. Like it's a variation.
Ultimate was pretty different from the norm, I would say.
Yeah,
let's get back. We'll swivel back to Supergirl. Craig, you're obviously higher on it than anybody else. So, what were some of the highlights for you? In terms of the movie.
I mean, I liked the action sequences. I think they did well on that front. I think I very much enjoyed the final action set piece where she kind of flies in. It was very James Gunn, which I'm sure Paul hated. But like when she flies in and does the whole like kind of thing on the sand and saves Ruthie and stuff. I thought that was cool. I actually quite liked the fact that people died. Like it was quite like people like got murked in this. You know, a fair few times, like families, children. You know that whole thing. I think I quite enjoyed that. I think that the thing about the wives and all that sort of thing needed to be developed a bit more. I think that was something that could have been like, again, if they lent more into that stuff, that could have helped the film. That could have, like, if you really went for that kind of what was going on there and kind of like going to that kind of darker place, that could have worked. I think as that's the word I was looking for. This film was safe. It was safe, and I think it was too safe, and that was the issue. As you say, it was paint my numbers. But anyway, sorry. Back to the good action sequences. Tick. The fat people died. Tick. Billy Alcock. Tick. I actually liked Ruthie. I thought she was good. I thought she did a bit as best what she could do.
I disagree.
I think she was good.
I don't think the actress was bad. I think she did a fine job, but I'm just like, you're doing my head in, man.
You didn't want the child in it. Yeah,
you're doing my head in. Get out the way and do what you're told. Like, shut up. The other thing as well that annoyed me.
The flashbacks as well, by the way. I like the flashbacks.
Flashbacks was good. I love the stuff on Krypton. The Krypton stuff was really good.
I didn't mind the flashbacks either.
Yay.
So, see the guy that played
her dad.
Her dad.
Yeah, Zor-El.
Yeah. Who did he play? He was in something that was like that. I was like, oh, I can't believe, and it's like something from my childhood. Was it? Let me find it. Let me see.
He's quite he's one of those character actors that's kind of popped up in things over the years.
He was in something, and I was listening to another person's kind of review and what they said it was in. I can't find it. I'll look on IMDb. But it was something like, I was like, oh my god, that's that guy. But I thought he looked great. I thought he looked very convincing to be Bradley Cooper's brother, which I thought, oh yeah, that's great.
Also, an interesting change as well. I mean, I think, again, this is a change that happened in the comics as well with the Grant Morrison run, but like, there's iterations of this where Zor-El's actually a bad guy. Zor-El's not, but then I think they've swapped it, you see, because obviously they've made Jor-El and Superman's parents remember, because obviously in Superman we found out they actually want him to go and conquer and breed and stuff. That's a change. That's a big change from the stuff, because Jor-El's supposed to be the good one. Zor-El was supposed to be the kind of jealous kind of younger brother, I think is the vibe, and they kind of touched on that in Smallville actually, and like he was jealous of Jor-El. He wanted to marry his wife and things like that, and there's been all that kind of stuff. So I quite liked the change that he actually was a good man. I thought it was quite good to offset the change that they made with Jor-El with this, like kind of make him the kind of more understanding, brother that wanted to kind of save his daughter and things like that. I quite enjoyed the twist that they did with it.
Found who he was. He's the elf in Santa Claus.
Yes.
How nuts is that? That's so cool.
That's it. Oh my god.
He's the elf from the Santa Claus. Yeah, I like the Krypton stuff. I like the concept of like that whole kind of point where she was like, "Oh, Krypton didn't die in a day," and it was this idea that it was in like this bubble, and then Kryptonite was obviously poisoning them. It was really cool. Loved the flashback, as I said, between Supergirl and Superman, when they first arrived and stuff like that. How did we feel about her killing the villain at the end?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I want that stuff.
It's kind of like just the exact opposite of what they've kind of been preaching the whole film.
No. Right, may I?
And then,
may I?
And I know she's dirtying
her
hands so that the kid doesn't have to and all that, but it's also just kind of been like, and I know she's different to Superman and all that, but it is just kind of, it was just, yeah, you ain't Superman is basically what I got from this.
I kind of thought it went against like the whole like weird. There's literally a line in it where he's like, "Oh, it's really colourful because we're the good guys," and I'm like, "Yeah, good guys don't kill.
Be good." Our mum said, "Be good," and I get it. The guy's scum. I get it, but the thing was, it's just people got so up in arms in Man of Steel because Henry Cavill snapped Zod's neck to save people, you know,
that goes
and she's got this guy completely at his mercy. It's just like,
it's how she killed him. Like, see if it was one of these. There's ways you can write round it where she like he goes to like attack her and she just moves out the way and he falls down a cliff. He dies. And she's not got like blood on her hands, but in like, my head, I'm like, oh, there was something when I watched it and I kind of went, I don't know if I like that she's killed that man.
Can
I tell you why you're wrong?
Yeah, go on, Craig.
Right, so this is why you're wrong. So what does she say? She sets it up. What does she say earlier on in the film? Superman sees the good in people. I see the truth or reality or whatever it was. That's who she is. And the reality of this is that he is a horrendous person. He is a horrendous being that has done terrible, terrible things. He will continue to do terrible, terrible things. There's nowhere for him to go. Where's she going to take him? She's going to take him to prison? Where's the prison? Where's she going to go? How's she going to get him there? I know we always write around these sort of things, but I actually quite like that they just went, no, because look,
Lobo's there. Let Lobo kill him.
But this is the thing, right? Okay, so she alludes to this earlier in the film. This was all set up, by the way, in the film.
No, I know. I just don't like it.
I'll give the writer credit for it though, but because he did actually set this up throughout the whole film. She says that to her near the start. She then says at one point, as you just said, she essentially is what she's saying is, I don't want you to become like me because I'm already there. I want to stop you becoming like me. She's already that person. It's too late for her. So what she does is she goes and just doubles. That's it. She's going to do it. She's going to stab him. That's it. She stops him from hurting anyone else because. But
then she has no growth. I don't give a fuck about Ruthie. We're not seeing Ruthie again.
It's her first film.
You can still have growth in one film.
Growth in a film.
But that wasn't what this film was about. That's not what this film was about.
That will come
later. It's
of which she never spent a second on Earth except the last 30 seconds of the movie.
Yes, and this is why she's still killing people.
She speaks English
because she's not had the whole thing with Superman yet. Their relationship is still quite new. It's not it's not established yet. My opinion, right, is what they will do is that he will help change her into being a more kind of hero. This is what this is for. This is who we are, and that's what's to come.
Maybe I'm right again.
Just to start there.
I'm open to. I'm not saying you're wrong in any way, Craig. I'm just telling you how it made me feel when I watched it. I was kind of like,
fair enough.
But I don't know the character that well, so maybe that is who the character is. Again, get in the comment section if you've got a really wealth of knowledge about Supergirl. Tell me why I'm wrong and give me the source material. I'd love to go read it. But like to me, I'm just going like this like stab in the neck. Hi, cuz I'm coming back to Earth now, and I'm just like, you've just murdered a man in cold blood. But yeah, look, the film is what it is. There's good, there's bad, there's inconsequential. I don't know. I feel as if the more I talk, again, Lobo didn't need to be in it.
Yes, that is my point. So Jason Momoa for me was the best part of this film. Like I actually see what the fans are saying. Like like I see him was like a proper fan casting as Lobo.
Yeah.
He was really fun. I liked every scene he was in. I just wanted to see more of him because I thought.
So why?
Hmm?
On you go.
I want to see more of what he's doing because I think this is because I know he's a more popular character. So why put this popular character in this if you're barely gonna do him, and then have him in one of the biggest, for me, plot holes in the whole film,
which is
okay. So they fight on that planet when the Marauders invade.
They get captured.
Supergirl makes that deal, puts the bag on her head, gets on the ship, and then they get taken to the planet, and Lobo is already on the ship.
Yeah.
They teleported away. He's in a cage that I'm just baiting my time. What was he baiting for? What was he waiting for?
Plan. He had no plan. Ruthie got out, let him out. That was a big issue with me.
What?
Yeah.
What was he waiting? Why was he in this film? I liked what he was, but why?
I think the thing for me as well is like, look, I think he doesn't get. I think he's good as the character. I think he's good as Lobo. I just don't see why he was in this film, and I don't see like. I think it's to put star power. He's Jason Momoa as a name and stuff like that now. And again, I look forward to seeing him again. I don't know who his adversaries are. I like this idea that he's like, yeah, I kill, but I kill for money. I'm going. That's a cool concept. You're a bounty hunter essentially. That's cool. I'm into that. But yeah, to me.
Because he's
I don't like shitting on films.
He's meant to be like big news. Like he can take, from what I understand, Superman or Supergirl in a fight.
Well, yeah, because she does.
Out, fight.
Supergirl. Supergirl said that he's an immortal being who has a god complex. So he is essentially like one of the most powerful beings that I'm assuming we're going to come across in the DCU. It'll be interesting to see if they bring him back in whatever way, shape, or form. But to me, I just felt as if the things that because I didn't enjoy every scene he was in, but it was a highlight. Again, David Cornsweet as Superman was a highlight. I just wish I got more Supergirl being a highlight. The plot was fine. There was some lovely action scenes in it, but ultimately, I think I'll stick with a 6, which is good.
Thank you.
But I'm like it's just a 6 and no more. Like by the skin of its arse, it's a 6. The thing I said to Craig, Paul, and I don't know if you'd agree with this, I would happily never watch that film again.
Oh yeah, same. I've already forgotten half of it. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing as well, Craig. I don't know about you. Haven't thought about it until the point we're doing this podcast. There's nothing in it that I was going, oh, that scene was really good, or oh, remember when that happened? I was just like, yeah, I've seen it. Which is a shame. So yeah, my final score, I would give it a 6. I think it's just good and no more. Craig, where are you sitting?
Yeah, I'm 6 as well, but obviously a bit more solid. I'd say it's probably just a 6 for me, as in it's just not so much in your end, but the other end. So like maybe like a 6.3, kind of 6.4.
He's
that's kind of what
just
I'd put it.
chomping at the bit to give this an 8, isn't he?
Get that score up. Paul, what about you? I don't think you've given us a score.
Maybe.
For me, it's a 4. It's a solid 4.
Again, I think it's somewhere in between that, and I think even like where I'm sitting just now, it's like a 5.99999999, so like round it up to a 6. But I think you get this idea. It's a 4, 5, 6. It's a fine film. It's a good film at best. If you're into superhero films, I still think it's worth going to the cinema to see. You might get something out of it that we didn't, but ultimately, it's going to pale in comparison to the end of the month when this guy swings into the cinema. I cannot wait. Let us know your thoughts. If you've seen Supergirl, what did you think of it? Get in the comments. Let us know what you think. If you've got a background in the novel, let us know what we can look forward to, what's coming to DCU. Are you with us? Do you have this fear about what's coming in the future of the DCU? Or are you like Craig? Are you quite confident in what James Gunn's got planned? Get all that stuff in the comment section and we will join in the conversation with you. But that's all for this week. That's all for this review. As I say at the start of the podcast, we've got so much coming in July, so many films, so many TV shows. We're talking about House of the Dragon. We're talking about Spider-Man, The Odyssey. You guys have just finished Vox Machina. All those reviews are up on the podcast, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. So whether you're watching or listening, make sure you're subscribing and keeping up to date with everything that we do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Latest on the Main J.